And let's take a look at First Republic, which is trading lower in after hours after the market close, following the announcement that 11 of the nation's largest banks are depositing $30 billion in the bank. Yahoo Finance's David Hollerith has been following the story. David, what can you tell us?
Well, so Inez, the deal is, almost a dozen of the nation's largest banks. And it's sort of broken down in terms of what they're putting into this deal to First Bank. Bank of America and JP Morgan are putting in about $5 billion apiece. Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley are each depositing $2.5 billion, while U.S. Bancorp, Truist, PNC, State Street, and Bank of New York Mellon are each putting in $1 billion. So these deposits are uninsured, and they're supposed to stay with First Bank for at least 120 days. And obviously, this is an effort to shore up First Bank. You've been covering this story all week. As the stock has clearly been taking record hits, at least over the last week, ever since Silicon Valley Bank has failed. And I think this is like a very interesting thing compared to the 2008 to 2009 financial crisis, and that JP Morgan stepped in and bought many banks during that period. And this is much more of a group effort of, what we have right now is more banks could potentially come in, but we have 11 of the largest banks in America, essentially trying to help the 14th largest. And that's kind of interesting from a competition standpoint. And Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen also commented on this. And we have word that CEO of JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, and the Treasury Secretary met today. So, we don't have a full picture of what led to this exactly. And what this means, but it's definitely it's an enormous effort to see something like this. And I think, we'll want to be hearing more about what this means, and obviously what happens tomorrow when the markets open again.
And we will be watching First Republic right now. The stock is down 13% in after hours. David Hollerith, thanks so much for joining us.